Were you surprised Dre was suspended?
I was not surprised at all, but incredibly disappointed. Let me say this.
In him or the NBA?
The NBA.
Okay.
I'm disappointed in the NBA. Love me some Adam Silver, and we all know this. I'm disgusted with the NBA this morning. I'm sick and tired of everybody acting like this is just another game. It's not just another game. It's a playoff game. You got to do something far more flagrant than this to be suspended. Now, just for the record, I was on the phone with the league office this morning. Their position is clear. It was the excessiveness of the stomp, how demonstrative it was by Draymond Green, and it was also history. They took those two things into consideration. We all know this, just so now, because I got some notes here, guys. Obviously, he was suspended for the one game in the 2016 NBA Finals. We all get all of that. That's how the Cleveland Cavaliers won the damn series. They'd have lost that series in 5 games, but that's a different subject for another day. Draymond now has been called for 6 flagrant fouls and 27 technical fouls in 147 career playoff games. The fines that he has paid on top, in addition to his 3 suspensions, he's had to pay $1.26 million in fines. We understand that Draymond Green has a history. I'll get into that in a second. What I'm saying to the National Basketball Association is, we understand the investigators go, they interview Draymond Green, they interview Sabonis, they come back to the league office, they give them the information, and then Joe Dumars supposedly is the one that's making the decision. I don't want to hear that.
You see what I'm holding, NBA? You see what this is? This is called tissues.
Well.
Soft. The NBA is the reason why people think NBA players are soft. Yep. For stuff like this.
First of all, it's called toilet paper, and second of all,
paper, tissue paper, whatever you want to call it. They're the reason.
But now, Paulie, get in here and clean this up.
Clean all this stuff up, Paulie.
Max,
no,
let me question.
Let me finish my point, Key. Hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
This is why I have a problem with it. I have a serious problem with it. It's what do we hear people say about the league all the time, Key? Well, this guy hurt his finger. He's on the IR for 5 days. You guys are soft. Or somebody gets caught with the elbow. Oh, it's an elbow. Like, we want to see more aggression. We want to see more physicality. Like, I saw Quentin Grimes with blood on his face. I'm like, yeah, it's the playoffs. Thank you. Like, I get the push off. I get he got ejected. He got ejected from the game. And I understand the history. Now, if you want to say, if the reasoning for this comes out, that the reason why the NBA suspended him for 1 game in the playoffs is because, you know, it was the way he acted with Adam Silver in the stands and him yelling at the crowd and that being a really big thing. Okay, and I get it. But this is playoff basketball. Playoff basketball. So the NBA suspending him is the reason why players get angry at this whole narrative with them being called soft.
I don't think I think it was a history, to be honest with you, Jay. I think it was a history of many things. A repeat offender of all sorts of stuff that they don't like. And I think that is the reason
Jay's cleaning up his own mess.
that he got suspended. I honestly do. I think that they looked at the history and they said, okay, this guy's a repeated offender, so let's just take him off the...
All right, we are back on Get Up. And again, the late breaking news last night while you were asleep, the NBA suspending Draymond Green for Game 3 of the series between the Warriors and Kings for stepping on the chest of Domantas Sabonis in Sacramento's Game 2 win over Golden State. The league in a statement saying, quote, the suspension was based in part on Green's history of unsportsmanlike act.
To all the old generation guys that are calling for the suspension, saying it's fine. The same guys that just ridicule NBA players for being soft. It's actually not the NBA players, it's the NBA. So let's just... Can we start there?
So let's start there. You do not agree with the suspension.
I just think that to me, the ejection is what should have been the finality of it. I get maybe the overreaction at the end where he's yelling, how that can factor into it, and the history, but I thought flagrant 1 for the technical foul for Sabonis and flagrant 2, that should have been it. I think that should have been it. Like, I don't think there should have been a suspension on the back end of this. I just don't. I don't, because have you actually watched the footage? I get how the jump looks. I understand that.
But we're also watching it in slow motion and we're watching it over and over again.
And Sabonis is actually grabbing his foot on his way down. Yep. So for me, I'm like, all right, like he got ejected. Game 2 is over. Let him play Game 3.
And they lost, and his absence for the final 7 minutes of that game was a factor in their losing. So there was significant punishment. How much of it, and Monica brought this up, that the guys on TNT mentioned it last night, that the fact that Adam Silver was in the building when this happened and that Draymond is carrying on as he does with the fans after the fact, how much do you think that factored into this, and should it?
I'm sure it does. I'm sure there's a history for that. I mean, look, last year we had a situation where Brandon Clark, a similar thing where he engaged the crowd, and Adam Silver watching that. It's probably not the best representation for the league. But let me say this about Game 3. I actually believe this is a must-win game for Sacramento in Game 3. If you do not win this game without Draymond Green playing in this game, I think you will see a pendulum swing of momentum back for Golden State.
Just reading the injury report. The NBA, that's a joke, and I don't like to defend him. I have no choice. He should not have been suspended. This is ridiculous. Now, I disagree with you on one thing. I think Golden State's winning the next 2 games. I think this is a 7-game series. I think they're going to go out there tomorrow night. That building is tricky. First road game for this Sacramento team to play in playoffs in this scenario. I think Golden State's winning the next 2 games. I don't know if they're going to win a series. I think it's going 7 games. I think Golden State's going to overcome this Draymond thing. They didn't do it the one time. They're going to do it this time. They'll win the next 2. But I'm with you on your overall theme. I'll let you scream about the NBA more than I can. I am shocked that he was suspended for this 3rd game.
They spent 2 games trying to bait him. Sabonis, over and over. You go back to the end of Game 1. He pulls down Draymond Green on the defensive rebound. They go down. Wiggins misses the potential game winner. I watched that clip 5 times yesterday from 3 different angles. Not only does he pull him down, as Draymond's trying to get up, he reaches around and grabs his chest so he can't run down the court. Earlier in the 4th, Draymond gets a defensive rebound, makes the outlet pass. Sabonis elbows him as he's running by and then flops to the ground. And if we have an alternate angle, I don't know if we do, of the play, it's very clear that Sabonis grabs Klay Thompson, tries to rip him down to the ground to draw a foul, and flops and ends up at Draymond's ankle and then makes a dirty basketball play. That is a non-basketball play, to grab someone's ankle. Malik Monk did it to Draymond. This was, I believe, part of the strategy. I'm not saying Sabonis is a dirty player, but there's some dirty plays here.
Okay.
There is some dirty plays. For the league to acknowledge that Draymond served a punishment, he got ejected, which I believe he should have been ejected, and I'm not condoning what he did.
Yes.
He served his punishment.
The Warriors believe he should have been ejected. They don't have a problem with it.
Nobody has a problem with that.
No, but that's important context that you're giving to the conversation.
And
I haven't heard anybody talk about it.
And I want to say something to you, too, because I agree that the Warriors can come back and win the next 2 games. To me, the referees have dictated too much in this series. They have allowed too much. I have no problem with physical play in the playoffs. But if Steph Curry's not allowed to move off the ball, if you're preventing players from running down the court and you're allowing that to happen, there's a play late in Game 2 where Kevon Looney's right underneath the rim, ready for a rebound. Sabonis crashes in, pushes him in the back. They don't call the foul.
Oh, my God.
They're good.
Those boys are some dogs. And the way they run up and down the court, I don't know if them old legs from Golden State can handle that type of pressure.
Ooh, come on now, Woody.
I don't know.
Whoa.
The
At
way
home.
that
At home. And
those
we're going to the Chase Center
those
now.
boys like Energizer bunnies out there. They soon as the ball is in play, they run it. They trying to run Golden State out of the gym.
Let me ask you a question. What side of the ball did you play on?
Offense.
Yeah, you're all about offense. And this is the playoffs, and defense has to happen. And Golden State, we can't talk about Golden State has to outscore. No, you got to play some damn defense at home.
Now let me ask you, Greeny, you brought up that whole montage where y'all showed Draymond with Draymond, without Draymond.
Yeah.
How you think that's going to hold up now?
And that's the point. All right, you're making my point.
Okay.
Draymond's absence is going to affect him defensively on off court. The numbers tell you Draymond's impact. Look at it right here. It's a big difference, even in defensive rating. He has the best defensive rating on court with the Warriors. When he's off, it's the worst defensive rating. That's how they miss him. And what's been the problem for the Warriors in this series? They can't stop them.
And you said it. They get up and down the floor. You got to stop the Kings. You have to play some defense. Can they do that without Draymond Green in Game 3? That's the biggest concern for the Warriors.
I don't even think they're intimidated by the Warriors at all.
We can get into the basketball of it all because I think you're onto something there. I think defense could be important. I think three-point shooting could be important. But I want to go back to what you said, Greedy. You can have the engagement with the crowd without it being you following up on stepping on somebody's chest. And I think that's where we're having an issue. I'm with you. Entertainment is great. Get up, take a charge, give it to me to the crowd, the whole bit. Let's keep it within the parameters of basketball play. I think you can still have the entertainment.
And for me, I just go back to you step on Sabonis, you get the technical, but then you go crazy to the crowd. That's what I don't. The step on Sabonis, that's not getting them tossed.
The point is, those officials answer to the league. And so if you know that they're not calling the game the way the game is supposed to be called, the league knows that. How do you not take that into consideration when you consider what happened and you know, listen, Redick, as brilliant as you are about basketball, the fact of the matter is that they know what the hell a Sabonis is doing just like you know. And to not have that contextually, to throw into the equation and to suspend Draymond Green down 0-2, as heated as this series is, with everybody transfixed on the series, I mean, it's the best series going as far as I'm concerned. I can't get enough of watching this series, despite what you pointed out. And to take out such a key ingredient to the Golden State Warriors' success in a playoff game like this, and to just act like, you know what, this is just some regular season game. These are the decisions that we make. This is what comes with it. I'm very disappointed in the league today. Very disappointed in them. There's no excuse for this. And the only thing that I can lean on, again, because I say softened up the league, and I don't mean the league is soft. I'm just talking about compared to what it used to be with the modifications that the NBA has thrown into the equation over the years. The fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, these things have happened because you're capitulating to a more attractive product that you're putting out there for the fans. You're reacting to what they say they want. I promise you, the fans want to see Draymond. Those who love him want to see him play. Those who hate him want to see him play and lose. But you want to see him. You don't want to see him home. And now the fans are deprived of it because of the decision like this. I think it's atrocious.
Yeah,
I really do.
I don't think I've ever seen you this frustrated.
I have, but okay.
Look, coaches, you see them in press conferences talking about a player getting calls or not getting calls. They're going to bat for their players.
Yeah.
I know Jeff Van Gundy talks about the officials a lot on the broadcast, and he has such a sharp and keen eye for that part of the game. It's not something I pay attention to. As a player, I never said to myself, oh, we got screwed by the officials, that's why we lost. No, in aggregate, there's so many plays in about. I don't believe that. But in aggregate, there's a reason that Draymond reacted the way he did. And I actually have a question. So he got ejected from game 1 of the Memphis game last year for making a play on Brandon Clark, right? Brandon Clark had a hard fall. I think it was a warranted ejection. Ended up getting suspended for game 2. I'm trying to remember, and maybe there are, and you guys can maybe help me out. Maybe our producers can help me out on this. Outside of 2016, with the kicks and then the play on LeBron, what's the dirty plays in the playoffs for Draymond? Are there? We're talking about one incident in 7 years, and it's last year against Brandon Clark?
Right.
Why is the history factored in so much?
Because
we're talking about this season, this series right now. The context of this season and this series, he shouldn't have been suspended.
What you're highlighting is that it's great is really unfair to him. And you're absolutely right. There's no disputing that. What they will do, however, is they will point to how demonstrative he is, getting in the faces of the officials, barking at them all the time. Listen to me, I don't have an issue with it. That man does.
Oh, I do.
When he sits up there, when he complains about Draymond, enough already. I mean, I guess.
But he got a raw deal here. I've been fair. He got a raw deal.
No, I'm not talking about this. I'm just saying that when you look at things like you said, you're not one that
we got into it last
year,
right?
Exactly, because that's how you feel.
I used the wrong word.
I understand that, but that's what you were pointing to. That's what they're pointing at. But a lot of people mistake that one incident is 16, and they assume that's what he's always been.
Do you feel like the history is warranted?
No, I don't. He should have gotten a break here. Here's what I totally disagree with you, though.
Okay.
The Warriors tomorrow night, they have a cause. That crowd's going to be crazy. They're going to get every call. They have an absolute cause. There is no way they're losing that game tomorrow night. And then they're going to have Draymond come back in game 4, and he's going to be crazy. He's going to play great. Sabonis is going to get all the foul calls. I'm telling you right now, I don't know if they're going to win. This series is going 2-2.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.